in the review, in her book, Total Makeover, My Journey of Building the Confidence to Building an Intentional Life, author and businesswoman Paula Msiza takes readers through a journey of transformation and how it led to changing her personal image and ultimately allowing her to step into a creative aspect of her life, a life that she's always dreamed of. The engineer turned style icon shares her struggles and those aha moments, breakthroughs while navigating change. In this book, Paula wishes to open conversations on personal growth and contribute to personal development literature. Well, she joins us now in studio to tell us more about her journey and her book and how she hopes it will inspire others. Paula, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming in studio to join us.
Thank you so much, Mpo. It's such a pleasure to be with you this morning.
This book, I mean, look at this picture. You look absolutely amazing here. With Total Makeover, one would assume you're talking about the color, the good, like a good tone of lipstick and the right outfit and, you know, the right sort of flow.
Yes.
But the book is a lot more intricate. It speaks to personal growth and personal aspirations and what happens when you're faced with challenges. Tell us about what inspired this book.
Sure. So, Mpo, for me, this feels like my life's work. Mainly what inspired the book was the journey, you know, I went through, you know, of struggles and triumphs, particularly in the self-esteem, you know, arena. I think a lot of us, we grow up and there's always something that will always, that will threaten to box you, you know, that will threaten your future self. So what inspired it for me was my life, but what finally sparked, you know, the interest to really put it out there was being in a process of growth and also being in the lockdown. I got that space to really reflect about what my life meant and what the triumphs that I have experienced meant for my future self.
Yeah, and that's amazing. It's incredible what has come out for so many people during that lockdown period, really forcing you to go and search yourself from within. You also speak about unlearning behavior and the importance that sets essentially as a foundation to crafting your future.
Yes. So unlearning for me, as I said, with the struggles that I faced as a young person, there are struggles that are quite common to a lot of us. For me personally, it was things like being bullied in primary school, you know, practically failing my matric. In the book, I detail about how I failed my maths and science when I had decided to pursue a career in engineering. And I had to, you know, like, go back to school. But in that year of going back to school, I had to unlearn certain things about myself, my limitations. I remember I had a teacher who, you know, her behavior showed that I could be something better. She saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. And the unlearning process for me was, at the end, I realized that I actually could do much better than what I was. I told myself that I'm just not good at maths. I had told myself that my body was a certain way which is not acceptable in community standards.
Wow.
So that's what I'm talking about in unlearning, to say there are things in you that you need to get over, you need to conquer before you can become something in the community.
You speak about having challenges with maths and science, but it essentially crafted your future.
Yes.
Because you ended up going along that stream and graduating in engineering. And it talks a lot to the excitement we saw yesterday with the people, some receiving excellent results for the matric class of 2021, but some people didn't do as well as they had expected.
Yes.
And when you talk about someone seeing something bigger than yourself within you, it really speaks to something incredible. What would you say to those who perhaps have not done so well and have had to now repeat matric when it comes to thinking ahead and the lessons you've learned from taking a deep breath and starting again and improving your results?
I would say people shouldn't be concerned about what is happening around them, because I know there's always that peer pressure of, people going off to universities. And you need to realize that everyone has a journey. Our journeys are not the same. In my situation, I had to take a bit of a detour to actually, invest in what I wanted. I could have easily said, you know what, to just keep up with what the young people are doing. Let me just take these below par marks and get whatever it is that will just put me in a university just to keep up. But I thought that wouldn't serve me. Ultimately, let me take a step back so that I can be able to take, those 5 steps ahead. So it did feel like a setback, but it was an investment into what I want. So I would say quiet down the voices and the temptation to want to keep up and just really think about what is it that you want, what is it that you value. And if it is maybe a career that requires you to go back and repeat your matric, do it, because you'll find that in your, in the greater scheme of things, your whole life, what is 1 year compared to the rest of your life?
Absolutely. And within your book, the chapters speak to things like life is not a race, and you also say eliminate comparison, which is really, really important if you are to essentially become who you were destined to become, because we can't go around, we get inspiration, you get inspired by other people, but the only way to find your voice is to tap within.
Yes.
How do people do that?
I think you need to be honest with what it is that you're able to do and where your shortfalls are. But after realizing where your shortfalls are, I would say then look the opposite direction. What is it that you can do very well? Doesn't matter what it is. People are always looking for, big things, groundbreaking things as skills that you possess. But I always say even a simple thing of being talkative, that is a skill you can harness. So knowing where your shortfalls are somehow tells you where you need to improve, but don't make that the priority. Rather take the little thing that you possess and grow it. I always say that there's a part where I say the little things that you do daily will become a ladder to, climbing for that success that you are pursuing.
In climbing for the success, it feels like the climbing really doesn't stop, because, we're human. You always have that desire for more, challenge yourself to do better, to grow, to enhance your talents. You have gone from engineer to fashion designer and, stylist, a lifestyle coach, speaking to the many talents within, which take some time to discover, or perhaps it's the courage to know that this is a new chapter that you can take.
Yes, so for me, it sort of started with me knowing what I am called for, which is in the creative space and the humanities space. But I remember when the decision came to choose a career, it became more of a calculation in what would satisfy my needs. And I think the pressing need at the time was financial freedom. So it made sense for me to go into engineering, and I was quite fortunate to, be able to, be skilled in scientifically and mathematically.
Yeah.
And I went into that journey. But well into that journey, there was always that voice at the back of the mind saying, this is not your destination. And I remember one of the indications for me was what I enjoyed the most about my mining career stint was I enjoyed people development and designing systems. So people were always at the core of what I wanted to do for my life's work.
That's incredible. It's really heartwarming, because as you're speaking, I'm thinking of the matriculants who are faced with choosing careers. Because sometimes you may choose one career thinking that it's your ultimate destiny, only to find that it's only a ladder, as you referred to the ultimate expansion of yourself. And I think that's quite empowering. What would you say to parents who are very finicky about, you know, what their children can study and not really giving them a chance to perhaps do what they want to do?
I would say we live in times that are slightly different to where we were. I would say I think I matriculated maybe let's just say 10 years ago. So for the parents who can actually invest in their kids discovering themselves in whatever industry they choose, I would say really support your kids and let your kids lead you rather than, you understand? Give them the resources, support them, be their structure, but then let them pave the way for you. And just trust that the process will unfold what these people are meant to become.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your book says Total Makeover. When I picked it up, I thought I'd get some insight on what outfits would suit me. And, you know, I thought I should get your approval. I mean, am I dressed correctly? Is this the right tone for my skin?
I always say it requires, you know, sort of like a day's assessment to see what suits you. But something that if you have a, what can I say, a flow. When I'm looking at you and you're glowing and everything looks right and it's seamless, then it means that you've done something right, whether it's a silhouette that you've chosen or a color. And I know, you know, as professionals we do these assessments, but with time I find that a lot of people gravitate towards what works with them.
Yes.
You know that you'll find this dress that you bought and it just doesn't sit. You know, you liked it when you saw it at the shop, but
on the mannequin.
It
looked good on the mannequin.
Particularly on the mannequin. You know, we follow trends and everything. But you find that when you go home, something is not right. Your instinct will always tell you. So now, what we do is, we will explain the process behind what you are experiencing. There's always an explanation. So you find that you chose a dress that will look best on Paula because Paula is a ladies, you know, she's a lady. She likes frills and flowers and whatever. And maybe inherently
lines.
You like, you know, you like straight lines. Maybe, you know, you like, what is this? Non-gender specific clothing. When you pick up that dress, something will just say, I don't know what it is about. It's a beautiful dress, but I just can't. I can't put it on myself. So it speaks to your fashion personality.
Thank you so much, Paula. We're going to have to leave our conversation there. I hope you got some insight on a total makeover. It's external and both internal when it comes to discovering who you are and where you're heading. Some sound advice there. Businesswoman and author Paula Msiza, thank you so much for your time.